Hello and welcome back to the Squared Circle with me, Dave Lanoka.
Me, Joe Ojala.
That's right, we are back. A brand new week. I know you guys are thinking, yes, how come you man are not talking about the big fight? Don't worry. There's going to be plenty of content surrounding that for your head top. But it's the first time we've been able to sit down to discuss and dissect the big fight between Ben Whittaker and Liam Cameron. All of you guys watching straight off the rip, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and also interact with us in the chat. Let us know what your thoughts are on all that we've got to say. Now, Joe, what a fight. What a night. Well, I say what a fight, but did that go as you expected?
It did. It did. Look, throughout the whole fight build up, I suppose the controversy was about the rounds, wasn't it? Like, was it going to be 10? Was it going to be 12? It looked like neither mattered. Like Ben Whittaker said in his post fight press conference, it didn't matter. But look, I think fair play to Ben Whittaker. Great performance. Take nothing away from him. A few controversies, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit, but yeah, it did go the way I didn't think it would go. To be fair, so but what did you think of the entire fight and the build up and so on and so forth?
Yeah, I was saying from quite a while earlier that I think he's going to show his minerals. He's going to show what he's actually made of. It's going to show that he is actually in a different league and a different class with Liam Cameron. Like I said, I always say when you're in a fight, if you haven't taken the fight seriously up until that point, it's hard to change it whilst you're in the fight. And I think Ben Whittaker in that first fight didn't take Liam Cameron seriously. He didn't take him seriously in training. He didn't take himself seriously. He just thought, I'm good enough, I'm talented enough. I'm gonna just, you know what I mean, I'm gonna go past this guy on in gear one, gear two, and continue going on from there. And when he got in there, he got what he didn't expect. And from that perspective, he couldn't then you can't then switch it on because you haven't filled the tank up with that stuff. And I think this time round, he was so aware of the fact that it was him. It's similar to, like, I know it's on a different level, but I wouldn't say it's similar to, but there's a degree of accountability that you have to take within yourself as a fighter, right? Sometimes somebody is just better, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's somebody just better, and that's the frustration AJ had with Usyk. It's like I haven't taken this as a joke. I've trained seriously. I've done mental training. I've been playing freaking Sudoku and doing all types of things to get mentally prepared for this chess match. I've been playing chess, and I haven't been able to beat it. That's the frustration of a man who has done everything, but has come up short. With this situation with Ben Whittaker, Ben knew what he had done. Like, nobody, the whole world can say whatever they want to say, and they'd say what they want to say because people don't like Ben. But the reality of the fact is, he is aware of himself. He is aware of how seriously he's taken his boxing. He is aware of how serious he's been in the gym. And so he knows himself. And like I said to you before, this is an Olympic medalist. This is an Olympic silver medalist who was pissed that he won silver. Like, he doesn't even talk about his Olympic pedigree because he doesn't. That's to him a scar upon his record. This is an individual who is very harsh on himself, right? So I already knew that he'd beat himself up surrounding this fight, and obviously he's been getting licks from the press. He's been receiving licks from media. Everybody's been quoting Ben Whittaker to the point where he's even said it himself. He's even quoted it himself. But he just showed what he's made of. Everything from from his ring walk. You know what I'm saying? He's got back on his faith. He's taking his faith seriously. You see what I'm saying? You could just see there's a whole new seriousness to him as an individual. And that pairing with Andy Lee as well, going up to Ireland, like that's the marks of somebody that's taking themselves seriously. And you can see it from the start, from bell one, from the opening bell. You could just see, wow, there is a skill gap here. There is a level gap going on here. The only question that people ask within themselves is, does he have what it takes to go the distance?
Yeah, for sure. I think the most impressive thing about Ben Whittaker during this whole entire build-up is that he's completely had a tunnel vision, right? He's completely looked forward to this fight. This is the biggest pressure moment that, it'll be one of the biggest pressurizing moments he will ever have in his career. And I know when he has world titles in the future, God willing for him, um, this is up there because this was the first real challenge. And other fighters that are moving up in the ranks will probably have a less of a challenge. He's probably had a great deal of experience, a work experience that will be very unique. And by that I mean in terms of the publicity, the public criticism, the scrutiny, so on and so forth. Pressure makes diamonds, and it was make or break of Ben Whittaker last weekend. And to be fair to him, it made him. To be fair, I feel like it was a come off the man type of moment for him. And fair play to him. I think fair play to Andy Lee as well. You can tell Andy Lee has played a massive influence of him develop him as not really as a boxer but as a man. In the Gloves Are Off, he was talking about becoming a man. If he's not a man now, he'll never be a man. And at the time when he said that, I said, the way he's behaving is very childish. And in that performance there and the way he's dealt with everything, he has become a man. He has become more, I suppose, like thick-skinned. And I also, think Ben Whittaker is very highly misunderstood because we've seen moments of vulnerability, we've seen moments of matureness that you like about Ben Whittaker. I think the overall consensus about Ben Whittaker is that he's annoying, he's childish, he's an irritant, for many people out there, and they would love for him to get sparked. So look, I've seen it over social media that there's a high dislike of Ben Whittaker, and now look, I'm guilty of being part of that as well. I've disliked the way Ben Whittaker's behaved in the past, but now I think understanding what it's really about with him, I think he's highly misunderstood. And you know what? I think it was good for British boxing that he won. I think, look, Liam Cameron, fair play, Liam Cameron, great story, like we've said multiple times. Great character, great heart, but for the sake of British boxing, we needed Ben Whittaker to win that night because, look, right now, obviously, because there's not a lot we can look at because AJ's at the twilight of his career. Fury, we don't know if Fury's coming back. I think he will, but he's definitely at the twilight of his career as well. There's not a lot of characters out there for British boxing for us to be excited about, and Ben Whittaker is, that beam of hope that we can grab onto, So I'm really happy that Ben Whittaker won. Unfortunate for Liam Cameron though, but at the end of the day, he said it in the his post-fight press conference. He still won in life. He won the lottery. So fair play to both of them.
Yeah, fair play to both of them indeed. Fair play to both of them indeed. Ben was just incredibly sharp in this fight. There was sharpness, there was focus, there was a whole lot of emotion, which obviously we're going to speak about, that erupted after Howard Foster called it off. In fact, first, before we even start talking about that, let's talk about the controversy surrounding this this ending, or whether it is controversy or not. How did you see the ending of the fight?
So it's ironic it was Howard Foster as well because we know Frotchen Groves back in the day as well. Like he was involved in that as well. But to be fair, look, I went on live straight after on TikTok, and I wanted to see what the overall consensus was. Look, at the end of the day, a lot of people were talking about saying it was a fair stoppage, and a lot of people saying it wasn't a fair stoppage. And people saying, how is that controversial? I think controversy is something where there is a high debate around it, and this is definitely a high debate around it. When I first watched it, I was watching it with my friends. I think it was around 10 of us watching it, right? And we all shouted at the screen and saying, "Whoa, that's too early! That's too early! That's too early!" And I was furious because I was like, "Look, this has been building for the last 6 months, and it's been ended like this after round 2." Um, and people were saying, "Look, the way Ben Whittaker was fighting, Liam Cameron's going to get stopped anyway." That's not fair. That's not what the argument should be about. We should talk about what is happening there and then, not what would have happened anyway. I don't like that argument. Basically, people saying that, "Oh, it doesn't matter. He would have got stopped later on anyway." No, that's not fair. But when I saw the replay and I saw his leg buckled after already getting wobbled, I can see why Howard Foster running. And at the end of the day, I felt Liam Cameron just didn't get going. He just wasn't up and running, which I thought he would have been. And that's fair play to Ben Whittaker. But talking about the actual stoppage, look, I think it was a fair stoppage at the end of the day. I was conflicted, I'll be real. When I first saw it, I was like, nah, not fair. But then looking back here, looking at the highlights, I understand why it got stopped. What did you think about that stoppage?
I think if people are being honest, they just wanted more. They wanted more. They wanted a longer fight. And
Yeah.
I think that is why there's a bit of rage surrounding it, because not that it was anticlimactic, but it's because it it didn't, like, for them, they wanted it to be like some full conclusive nature. You see what I'm saying? And they feel like they were robbed of that. And I get it, especially for a 6 month build up for a fight, for it to end in the second round through the ref. I think it's made it tough for people to be able to see it for what it was, right? I do think it was a fair stoppage. The miss that Liam Cameron had when he went for the overhand right, and the hook that Ben Whittaker landed on his chin, that initially buckled him and sent him towards the ropes.
Mm.
From that point, I could see, hey, listen, this is looking techie. But on the ropes, he didn't answer back. He didn't throw back. He left it in the hand of the referee. And when you leave it in the hand of the referee, anything can happen. One thing that I like about Liam Cameron is that he, up to today, like there was an interview he did today with Kugan Cassius, just before we were recording this, he has no complaints. Like, none whatsoever. Now, obviously, he had no complaints after the fight, but sometimes people then start to have complaints a couple of days later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
After everyone tells them that, oh, it shouldn't have been stopped, it's this and that and this and that. People then decide that now they're going to say that, yeah, this was unfair. No, he kept the same tune. Like, he said he's got a perforated eardrum, just bleeding in his ears. He's had a medical back from it, but he said in this fight he was not expecting this from Ben Whittaker. He said that his view was that he had it all figured out. Like,
Mhm.
in his mindset, Ben Whittaker was a hype job, and he had it figured out. That was his honest truth. He said that, to be honest with you, the first fight in Saudi, he was nervous for. He was very nervous. He was nervous, thinking, "Oh my days, I'm in this fight," so on and so forth. However, in this fight, he had no nerves. He said he was beating up everybody in sparring. He was strong. He was so on and so forth. He had no nerves. He knew Ben. He knew what Ben could bring. But Ben surprised him, like, plain and simple. But in Ben's view, Ben would say that he saw the real Ben. This is the real me. Do you understand what I'm saying? That one that he fought was the me that was overhyped, overpraised, over rewarded. So much money, so much fame, so many things have come to me. This is Ben's words, that it's had an impact on who he is. But because people don't like Ben, they don't want to hear it.
Mm.
Now, the only thing I'll say to Ben, if Ben is watching, or if this gets to Ben, is, Ben, like, people have an opinion on you that is good. Regardless of whether it's good or bad, people have an opinion on you. And the reality of the fact is, yeah, take it in your stride. Take it in your stride for now, and you'll turn these people into fans of you as time goes on. But the blessing is that they're interested in you. Even if the interest is in hate, they're interested in you. They want to see you. They want to, and that is fine. Like, don't let that, because I can imagine stepping into an arena in your own home turf and you're getting booed and people are not for you. It must be disheartening from that perspective. It must be very, very disheartening. But he has to use that as fuel. He has to use it, see the positive in it. Yeah, yeah, they all came to see me. Regardless if they came to see me lose, they came to see me. They came because I'm fighting this fight. That's the reason why they came. So we'll go and give them something to talk about after this fight. So yeah, I think it was tough for him. He's a young man. It was tough for him mentally, but he overcame. And I just hope that relationship with Andy Lee continues, because I think it's very, 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 very beautiful. Obviously, after the fight, there was a lot of emotions in the fight. When he put his head out of the ring, how did you see that? Obviously, it ended up in some beef between between Johnny Nelson and Dave Caldwell.
Yeah.
David Caldwell, yeah. So how did you see that?
I didn't get to see the actual the argument, but I believe it was something to do with I think it was something to do with the running to the corner of Liam Cameron and running out Grant Smith's face. Look, first of all, Ben Whittaker, like, I just want to quickly talk about the point you still right. You either loved or hated, right? You can either be a Mayweather and hate watch, or you could be a Manny Pacquiao and love watch. Either way, people are gonna watch you. So I 100% agree with that what you said there. But with him running to the corner of Liam Cameron's team and running out Grant Smith, a lot of people have said that he spat at Grant Smith. I think it was something to do with the gum shield, and it just came out. I don't think he actually purposely spat at Grant Smith. It was actually quite funny because people on TikTok went from Whittaker to Spittaker. And I was like, all right, don't start this off again. Nah, come on, like let's not do this now. Let's not do this here. Let's give him his flowers, in it. He done a good performance, and I do think Ben Whittaker is very misunderstood. And I think Ben Whittaker could do a lot of things that can be irritating, but I don't think he'll go that far to actually spit in a grown man's face. I think he's got more respect for himself, more importantly, and to others, you know what I mean, than to do that. So, like, let's not do that. But I think it was a bit distasteful for him to go over to the corner. However, I hear what Ben Shalom said. Ben Shalom said something like his team. I know Liam Cameron's manager, Lee Eaton, was basically getting a wheelchair out for taking photos before that, and trying to mock Ben Whittaker. So I understand why he did that, to say, all right, cool, you lot have been talking for the last 6 months. Have that, basically. It was understandable. It was emotion. Hindsight, it was probably not a great idea, but at the end of the day, I didn't mind it, to be fair. I thought it was fine. I'm not gonna lie. To me, I thought it was fine.
Yeah, for me, I just thought it was understandable in terms of emotion. I think that, and obviously, David Caldwell and Johnny Nelson had different opinions, and I understand why they would have different opinions. David Caldwell would have the opinion of protecting the coach because he's a coach, right?
Yeah.
So he's got that view. He understands that view from that perspective. And as for Johnny Nelson, I think Johnny Nelson is just aware of where this will get carried to, and Johnny Nelson was trying to not let it go there. That's the reason why I was like, bro, come on, man, let's just not do that. It's the emotion, because he knows that people already don't like Ben Whittaker. And if you allow this thing to go unchallenged, or if you if you don't give another perspective on it from the emotional standpoint, then this is going to follow Ben Whittaker for another months, years into his career, which is long. As in, to this day, not to, I'm saying, yeah, exactly. But to this day, you've got Simon Jordan still saying Anthony Joshua had a mental breakdown in the ring. Anthony Joshua was just emotional after the fight. But that thing is like, oh, that was, do you know how many years ago that was? And still, that is now something that is carried and followed with him. But it's like, because nobody stood up for AJ saying, bro, he just came out of 12-round fight, 24 rounds. He's been unable to beat this guy. There's frustration there. It's normal.
It's normal.
Like, it's normal. Yeah, we might not see it every day, but it's normal. It's normal emotion. It's normal emotion. This person's been through something. AJ's been through, carrying boxing on his shoulder for X amount of years, and he hasn't been able to beat this one opponent. Yeah, there will be frustration there, and he's just come from a fight. That's that. So all of these factors have to be put into play, but because of Johnny Nelson's understanding of the way in which it will go, I get why he took the side of Ben Whittaker and took the side of understanding the situation. I don't think he was making an excuse for it, or that he was excusing it, saying that this is acceptable. He's saying, I get it. I understand why. And I think, us as boxing fans, we have to be a bit more understanding, even when we can't understand it, because, nine out of 10 of these people that are calling this Whittaker and all this guy, so on and so forth, they've never been punched in the face before. Like, they have no idea what it means to, one, to be punched in the face, but two, to carry the pressure of that, to go into a fight where you've just been booed into your own home arena. That there's so much going on. So afterwards, Ben apologized to Grant Smith. Like, let's not carry the thing somewhere else. You see what I'm saying? He apologized. Even Grant Smith was like, bro, I get it. Even Grant Smith himself said, I get it. I understand, bro. It's emotion. I understand. Don't worry about it. Like, you don't have to come and do that. You don't need to do this. I get it. It's emotion. I was emotional at the time. That's why I was about to slap you in the face. But it's also emotion. So, but yeah, that's my fault. That's my fault, Sonny. We've been rapping for a very long time here, but I just want to get quickly your thoughts on who you think either fighter should fight next.
You're so funny. So actually, both fighters, in my opinion, should fight either the winner or loser for Antiar versus Lyndon Arthur. I was thinking about this. So, but only Liam Cameron and Antiar, that's the fight I can't see happening. But for Ben Whittaker, the next fight, either the winner or loser, Lyndon Arthur, Anti-Yard. Anti-Yard will be a great step up, great step up. But I do think Anti-Yard will probably look for the Boatzis of the world. But that'll be a massive step up for Ben Whittaker. Or fight Lyndon Arthur, which would be another good step up for Ben Whittaker. Whereas Liam Cameron, Liam Cameron and Lyndon Arthur had a fight, a very close fight, which I believe Lyndon Arthur won. A lot of people felt that Liam Cameron should have won that. So maybe if they could even run that back. Especially if Lyndon Arthur doesn't manage to defeat Anthony Yard, that'll be a good little fight for him to come back in. So for both fighters, they should do like a little semi-final there, to be fair. Now we already see, I think it'll be a great idea, to be fair, bro.
I hear you on that. I hear you on that for sure. I just think there's no way that Frank Warren and Ben Shalom are gonna work together in a fight like this anytime soon. I just don't think. I don't think that Yard and Ben Whittaker fight is happening anytime soon. But guys, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Thank you for rocking with us for the last 20 or something minutes. We've got loads of content coming for your head top this week. It's a big fight week. There's going to be double video days. Make sure you keep supporting. Make sure you click the video when it comes out. And get in the comments and hit the like button as well. I've been David Loka.
And I've been Joe Orgula.
You've been watching The Squared Circle, and we'll see you again next time.
See you later.